Yeah, she's looking at me now. She's turned her head. She sure could look like a statue. I know y'all are thinking I'm lying and that was a statue. Morning. I've got off to a late start this morning. It was pouring down rain. My house is a wreck. I didn't clean it. Look at my kitchen counter, cat, right there. Didn't pick up anything. I like when I go somewhere and I'm going to be gone a couple hours to come home to a clean house, but that's not the way it's going to work out this morning. I had to feed up in the rain this morning. It was horrible, wet and nasty. I'm headed to Tina's, my sister. They have that RV that was left on Lester's, when Lester and Jamie bought that new property. It had that RV, that fifth wheel. She's wanting to put a heater, and I told her I had one. It's the one, I said, it does not have a thermostat. So if you want a thermostat, think about it. You know, I said, I bought it for Mom. I said, but then after I had it too long to send back. So I said, but all it is on and off fire and on and off heat. I was a little bit misled, or I just think our idea of here in the United States of a thermostat is different than some other countries' idea of a thermostat, because this actually, in the description of this heater, said thermostat, but it meant that when it gets hot, it turns off on its own. And then I guess it stays off until it cools down, the little motor cools down, then it comes back on again. I don't know. Not like ours was like our central, you know, you put it on a certain number and it just rotates on and off throughout the day when it needs it. It cycles on and off. This one doesn't do that. So I told her that, but we're going over there right now she can decide if she wants to use this one or order her another one. This one's free, but if she wants to order her one, that's fine. With the thermostat, I would prefer a one with a thermostat, a real thermostat that you can set it at a temperature, or when it gets to a certain temperature in your room, then you turn it down till the heat goes off. And then from there, it'll come on and off when the heat gets to that point. That's what we're headed to do right now, and I will show y'all what I'm talking about when we get there. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so where's your TV gonna go?
All right, so there's a 2x4 that runs right here. So okay. We're gonna the TV's gonna go up here. And we're probably just be a 32-inch flat screen. And as long as this is never gonna move. Once we get it where we're gonna have it, it's not gonna go in and out. But of course, Robert's like, oh, it's going past that, it's fine.
Yeah, so even if it did move, it's
32-inch right there.
Yeah, that's not going to cause a problem with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to mess up all of this. We don't want to mess up everything. So Robert, we want to leave this cabinet here so the TV can come down to about right there as far as it can come down.
Yeah.
So all of this can be whatever we need to do to it. We can take this shelf out if we need to. If it'll fit here, we can.
All right, pick that heater up and sit. Okay. Would you want the heater this high?
It wouldn't bother me. I don't know if it puts out heat to melt my TV.
No. Put that.
It's more for looks. Oh my gosh, that's perfect, Kim.
Well, it does need something because...
Yeah, of course.
These will screw to, like, if it was perfect, it would be like that.
We can trim it out however we need to.
Right, so that's where it would be.
This plug, as long as this plug is accessible for the TV, that's fine.
Yeah, and you've got a hole here.
Well, yeah, but that's, that would be for
well,
like
is there a plug here? Oh, it's right here.
Yeah. Then there's a hole down here. Okay. It goes to right here.
Yeah, so I would say that since we don't know what's back here, do you know what's back here?
Yeah, it's inside the bathroom.
Okay, so...
Let me go look. Yes, that's bathroom cabinet. All it is bathroom cabinets right there.
Okay, so if you don't like it up high, because you have to have airflow back here. You can't just sit this in and it touches this back and...
Well, so that would be perfect then.
But up here would be perfect, except lots of airflow behind it.
Yeah, I would rather have it there. I like it there.
But it would look better here. I'm just saying, because it's lower to the ground. It's more like a fireplace would be.
Back here. Come in here. Come in here.
We don't want this to fall out. Let me move it over. Okay.
Look, all of that is bathroom cabinet.
Okay, so
there is just a cabinet down there on the floor.
No, the only thing is it's taller.
No, it's not taller because the floor stops here.
No, I meant the heater would be up here. The width is perfect because we already know it fits here.
I know, but what if we cut some of this out here?
Yeah, we could do that. That's what
I said, Robert said, any of this down here, you can do whatever you want. He wants to keep this cabinet here, but this can be manipulated however we want.
Okay, so I would suggest that we cut this. I wonder what this was for. Magazines? Is this for magazines?
Magazines and the TV guide.
I guess. Okay, so I would suggest that we cut into this.
Okay.
So we're in the back of the cabinet in the bathroom, so it wouldn't matter.
Right.
And then if we have to do it so gently, we want to make it as pretty as we can, but we'll have to cut back a little bit of this.
Okay.
Then once the hole is there, so we know the back of the heater has
move a shelf up higher, right?
Right.
So that as a shelf.
Right. So once we get this done the way and trimmed out the way we want, then we would, whatever this is left over just becomes another shelf like this.
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah.
Because I think up there that high, it would put heat coming straight out toward you, but I just think for the way a normal fireplace heater it would be lower. But we can leave it up high if you just prefer it up high. I just think it'd look better down low.
I want to be able to look at it when I'm sitting in my rocking chair.
Right. And do you want to look up at it, or would you rather just see it?
It's perfect if I'm cooking. I don't know. It doesn't. I think it's pretty right there.
Okay. Well, then
I guess it'll just be pretty right here.
It's going to be just as pretty there.
So we'll just pop off this piece right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut back. I guess we got to take this whole panel out right here.
Yeah, we'll have to cut that back somehow.
Yeah.
Just with a reciprocating saw.
This off right here.
Yeah.
Because this needs more space, right? It's too
narrow. It's too narrow. It has to have some space. Some air space.
Yeah.
Let's look at the back of the heater real quick. I'm gonna turn this on. I just left Tina's. I told Mom when we left on Christmas Day, there's a little deer right there. I know from here she looks like a statue, but she's not. The day that we were here at I'd never seen her before, and all the times coming over here to Tina's, I'd never seen her. But the day that we left Tina's after, she's just standing staring straight across the fence. The day we left Tina's, Christmas Day, when we got to the corner here leaving this house right here, there was a whole bunch of people out back. They had, family over. They had family over. And when I stopped right here, all of a sudden I noticed this deer just walking across their yard, and that she walked up to somebody, and then she walked over to somebody else. Yeah, she's looking at me now. She's turned her head. She sure could look like a statue. I know y'all are thinking I'm lying and that was a statue. She's not. Okay, we're home from Tina's. Just went out and fed up. Molly had, evidently I didn't lock that cyclone fence gate. The one that's down the same side. Her stall is here, and then down the fence line is that other little gate. Evidently I didn't lock it last night, and she was in the yard. We've had so much rain, so there's these big old holes where she walked all over the place. Praise God. She got into the chicken feed. Empty. It's completely empty, but praise God there wasn't a whole lot of chicken feed left yesterday. She still ate too much than she should have. And when I got home, she was in that side yard over there with Minky, hollering at me across the fence. And she was over in the corner. She was in Minky's side yard, but at the corner here in the front where she could see into the front yard, hollering at me when I got out of the car. Oh, anyway, got all them fed. But that deer, oh my gosh, she was so pretty that day, walking around talking to everybody, and they were, touch her, and then she'd walk to somebody else and they'd touch her. It reminded me so much of little Billy. I don't know if I know I've told the story, or at least said that we had one once, but Levi's dad worked oil fields. He was the chemical man. He treated the chemical in those, you go out to them woods and you see those big vats full of, big tanks full of oil. It's being pumped up in there, and it's not just ready to sell, most of it, or maybe any of it, I don't know, but I know most of it has to be treated with some type of a chemical for some certain reason. I don't know why, and I don't know because I'm not a chemical person, but he was. And he brought this little deer home, little spots all over him, a little boy deer, and said the mama had been hit maybe by one of the 18-wheeler trucks or something down in those woods. I don't know. He brought him home, and we raised him. I raised him on a bottle. Built him, I think at first we fenced like the end of our porch. We sort of closed it in because he was little. And I could just go out right there on the end of the porch and give him his bottle in the mornings. And he had a little bed and all, like big blanket I think I threw down there for him to lay in. And at some point I put a collar on him with a little bell. And as he got older, he would just hang out in the yard. Now, we had woods all around us. That was our property, but we didn't have a fenced-in yard. So in the mornings after he'd have his bottle, he would just hang around in the front yard or side yard or whatever. It'd be funny because I could be in the kitchen or down the hallway doing laundry. I could just be anywhere in the house, and I would hear the click, 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 ding, 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 ding. His little feet clicking on the floor and his little bell ringing where he was coming down the hallway finding me. And he would jump on the couch, just like the goats, when he was little like that. Jump on the couch. He'd jump on the, the bed. I remember one morning, it was a weekend morning, and Levi's dad was still asleep, and I was up with the kids. Billy had already had his bottle. He was just playing. All of a sudden, Buckshot hollered. That was Levi's dad's nickname, Buckshot. He hollered down the hallway. He goes, "Come get Billy, he's on the bed." So I had to go get him off the bed. He was still asleep. He was just Buddy remembers him. I don't remember how much Tony remembers. Levi wouldn't, because Levi was a baby. But at some point we finally built him like a small yard, just enough for at night, so he wasn't just wandering around the woods at night. And in the mornings, he was still big. Remember how long I fed the goats and how long I fed Molly? Just longer than they needed to be on bottles. He was the same way. He was a bottle baby. Even when he was grown and he had no more spots anymore, he would be out in that wood somewhere, and I would holler for him, and I could hear the chinka, 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 as he ran through the woods, and he'd come up on the porch, and he'd slide. His little hooves would just slide down the porch, and he'd take a bottle. Big old deer with little rack on his head. But we built him a yard for at night, and we would pin him up at night so he just wasn't wandering around. Then all day long he had free reign to do pretty much where he wanted to. Most of the time I'd come home, he'd be just right there up on the porch waiting for me to come home. And I remember coming in from a bus run, and that's the first thing I noticed when I crossed the little bridge to our house. We had a creek there that we had our own little bridge that went across. And as I was crossing the creek, I could see it was his little yard was straight across from us, and he was not in it. And the gate was locked or shut. And I was like, he can't jump that high. And I couldn't believe he had jumped that high. And for weeks, I called him or be out doing something outside or mowing or working in the little garden or something. And was that a bell? I would just think I heard a bell, and I would call him, didn't hear nothing. He never came back. And it was Hello? Listen to me. You're not watching this TV with headphones on, watching the tablet at the same time. It's not happening. Anyway, I would call and call. Oh, what I was to say was we were separate. We were already separate, maybe even divorced. I don't remember. We were talking one time about something, and he was talking about the guy across the street from his mom and dad. He goes, "You remember?" He said his name. I want to say his name was Jesse. He goes something like, "You remember Jesse?" Something, he lived across from him. He goes, "He's the one that he said it. He sold the deer to." I said, "What?" And he said, I don't know. I can't even remember that conversation now. I was like, this is the reasons why we're not together anymore. So yeah, he had sold Billy and led me to believe that Billy must have jumped that fence. And for weeks, I was just out there calling that deer, looking for him. And he had sold him. So I don't even know. I don't know if he sold him to make a pet out of it. Somebody's going to have enough. He was our pet. Even though he was a wild deer, he was a pet. So I don't know if he became somebody else's pet or if he sold him so those people could fatten him up and eat him. It just, anger just filled me. I don't think I could speak to his dad we were already divorced. I didn't have to speak to him. But I think I didn't want to talk to him it took a long time to talk to him. Anyway. But that was really cute that day passing and seeing her just walking around. And then today there she was standing there like a statue in those bushes. And I'm thinking, they think I'm lying. I was thinking, y'all think I'm lying that is a statue, but she is a real deer at that house. Anyway, so we got a plan going. Me and Tina, we have a plan going. So she's going to get a couple of sheets of plywood for the bed. She wants to enlarge that bed to a king. And she also wants to put some kind of shiplap, but peel and stick kind, something up the wall to make it look a headboard. That whole wall at the end is a headboard. And then I don't think we need hardly anything but a 1x2. Just like one 8-foot long 1x2 that we can cut down in the sides to make the trim around that fireplace. And to me, it would probably just be easier to get something like a beadboard and stain it to match that stain. And then cut the hole, install it, then cut the hole for the heater and set it in. But we're going to try to just work with the framing that's already there. So anyway, I think we've got a plan. I think it's going to work. She can have it up high, and I'm going to tell her that before we get. So if she wants it up high in that middle cavity, she can have it up high. I mean, it's her camper. She can have that heater anywhere she wants. I just think, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion because it's her camper, if she wants it up there, fine. But I feel like it would be more normal down, lower, because most fireplaces are lower. They're not at eye level. So I don't know. But she can make that decision before we get started. So one of the ways will be a little bit of cutting, and there's that whole cavity behind it. Once we cut that piece out is the bathroom cabinets underneath. So truth is, well, actually, when they take the screws out, if the heater was to ever go out, they could just unscrew it, pull it out, then unplug it. But if they just need to, where it's going to be low is where the plug is also, down here to the side. So probably be even easier if they're doing anything and need to unplug it for some reason, to unplug it from the bathroom side. Just open the cabinet, reach in under that cabinet and unplug it. Then it would be unplugged. Anyway, we'll figure all that out, but she knows now what she needs, and we're going to, whenever she's ready, I'll go over there one day and we'll work on that and get that done. Anyway, I'm going to get this house clean. I guess he wants to watch. He wants to multitask and watch two things at one time, I guess. Anyway. All right, I love you guys. God bless y'all, and I will see y'all later. Levi, I want to tell everybody goodbye.
Goodbye.
What you watching?
Jamie?
You're watching Jamie right now?
Yeah.
What's a video of Jamie?
Yes.
What's she talking about?
She talking about Peter Felix was naughty and nice. She talking about.
Oh, she's talking about the naughty and nice game?
Yeah.
All right, tell everybody bye once more.
Bye.
Bye, guys.